It's going to work. It's going to work. First step, cut wood pieces certain sizes. First step, figure out what size to cut them. 10 1/4 inches exactly. And I cut these 14 exactly. 13 exactly. Now, these are only like 15 inches, but they will actually be 4 feet to go the full length of the floor. Like I said, I've only done this in my head. I haven't actually drawn this out. Do I have a plan? Yeah, I got part of it planned out. I've started there, and I'm trying to figure out level 1. So here's the beginnings of the plan. Level 1. This is me, and this is where my eyesight is, right at 7 feet. Well, it's 7 feet from the bottom because there's a 1-foot basement. There'll be another piece of the plywood along here because, again, this is the very bottom. The whole thing's on its side. This piece here goes down and blocks this window. So when the camper is in a down version, then you don't even see this window. The part A, which is in the tub below the sides of the bed. B, the part that sticks out over the bed and is always permanently out. C, the part that disappears when the top comes down and has the windows just above the counter height. D, the section that actually comes down and is a double wall. What is that? A, B, C, D, E, which is the roof line. So to explain it differently, there we go. It's like this, whereas this is A, here we go, B, C, which disappears when the top comes down, D, which is the part that goes over, so you see B and D when it's down, and then E, which is the roof line with the dormers. So does that make sense? See, I told you I had it all figured out. I don't see what the problem is. See, doesn't that make sense? I'm just going to take these and somehow assemble them here like this. So I've decided to make a more complicated camper than maybe for my first time that I should. See, it's decisions like this, right in this corner. Should it be like this or should it be like this? You know, for somebody that doesn't know what this is, like me, for instance, but somebody else that doesn't even know what I'm talking about, it's way too much information. I just have to, here's the deal. I want to be able to not use fasteners as much as I can. I want to not use nails and screws. So by design, I'm trying as much as I can to have everything fit together and will be glued together, and therefore wanting to clamp everything. And so the assembly order is really tricky. I wonder if I need to prep this. I sanded off the shellac crap that was on the outside of it, but I wonder if I need to prep it other than just clean it a little bit. I don't necessarily want to get it wet or have it soak up any moisture prior to me gluing, but I don't know that that matters either. Is that going to work? Is that going to be strong enough? Does that work? I don't know. It's quite a process. Quite a process. I have this fancy smancy glass piece, which will hopefully keep it nice and flat, and the glue won't stick to it. And I have chosen these particular boards to start with, anticipating being able to get my clamp around them to get all the pieces as well adhesived as possible. I bought 3 of these pieces of plywood, 3/4 inch. I didn't want to use screws or screw anything into this because it seems like it would just crumble. And it seems like if it got wet at all, it would just disintegrate. This was only going to be used on the bottom 2 layers. So the whole foundation, the whole tub wing part that sits in the truck and sticks over the side of the truck, that was going to be this. And now I'm going to build the whole thing out of cedar. The whole thing. The original idea was to have the cedar boards as a framework inside the plywood. But in putting the final pieces together, the original idea that I had is not going to work. It's not going to work the way that I want. The plywood was going to be a lot of the strength of this unit. So now my cedar framing has to be all the strength, and the plywood allowed it to be strong in like every direction at the same time. And I had a minimal framing. I had it all figured out in my head. I could close my eyes and see it. Now, not having a plywood base to build in, it just changes everything.